Hi, Marco here, and welcome to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So we're jumping up from the start of the second line of testimonies. Again, before we've just proven that the victim was not shot from behind, he was in fact shot at his chest. In fact, in close range, which left a burn mark on his chest. So now we're going to the second line of testimonies. So let's see. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad in the black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, furthermore, a visual search of the premises at that time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out! Mhm. So we must prove that the Englishman was not um, alone. Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her. Both of them are not looking at me.
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. Ugh. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has a photographic evidence of this fact. Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, counsel? Okay. Indeed. Of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can plainly be seen, there is only one place set. Certainly. Based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. Ugh, this doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the court record. Crime scene photograph. A bottle of carbonated water and a steak lunch can be seen on the victim's table. The photographic print of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw the woman with him. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with the Great Britain. To think that I, Takatsuchi Auchi, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. Again, this court is just rushing things just so they can report to the Great Britain. I guess they feel that they need to obey or please the Great Britain. Stand tall, Rinosuke, it's not over yet. What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick, understood? Rules can be so unbending at times. Ugh. Okay, so at least we've secured another cross-examination moment. The true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. No, that's not the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad in black. Much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at that time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no other than the black uniform cadet could have dispatched the Englishman over and out. Let's see the court records again. Let's see the new evidence. Okay. A fork and a knife with one glass and a bottle. Let's see again the same thing. The layout.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I pressed. So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone. That I did. Forgive me for the position I placed you in. So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agreed on that one. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. This can be clearly seen. There is only a single beefsteak on the victim's table, a meal for one. No. The antiques dealer, the surgeon, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. What do you think, Renosuke? Oh. What's the matter? I can find anything. I can find a clear discrepancy anywhere. Yeah, I can't see anything. I'm done for. I can't win this trial. No. Listen, the first thing to do is calm down. You can't expect witness statements to be full of holes every time. So just take your time and try to tease more information out of them first. What do you mean? You can choose to either press or present against each of the witness's statements. If a witness is saying something you're suspicious about, press him on it with the left shoulder button. With a little luck, you may get more details, which could prove to be crucial. So yeah, I accidentally clicked the left shoulder button. Right, I see. The important point is there's no sense in holding back. If anything even slightly jars with you, press the witnesses on it and press them hard. Alright, got it. I'll press them like blocks of tofu. The professor wasn't alone in the restaurant, I'm sure of it. And one way or another, this cross-examination is going to prove I'm right. It's time to press them for all they've worth. My fate depends on it. So let's press on some suspicious statements. Okay. That I did you miss only 1%. Yourself. Let's present the first statement.
Yes.
Just don't know what to press yet. No, it's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. You have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it. Oh, what's the analogy? Of what? Tension? The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all, don't you? And let's not forget that the antiques dealer witnessed the accused in this moment incriminating position as well. Isn't that so correct, son? Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad in black, that much I myself did see. Let's this again? Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time. But I've told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor. Well, obviously, as a culprit, that's the only way you could explain it anyway. I had just finished drinking my coffee, and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And at exactly that moment, bang. A gunshot rang in my ears. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry, what do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas conversely, I failed to pick up the Koban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you, with pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner. Okay. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Let's press this.
Yes!
You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
Attention!
As you have been at pains to point out time and again, I feel I'm growing a callus on my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. If only there had been more people dining there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner is in any restaurant. I know, of course, the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect. Certainly 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of a time tool. I wonder if there was any reason why the victim was eating at that time of the day, and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at the clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Hota Clinic. Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon past 1 p.m. Noon to past 1 p.m., sorry. So 1 hour visit or appointment. The very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment? The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case. I wonder. What do you think, Kirinovsky? Well, it's hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it would be more useful. Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report card to be submitted as evidence or not? Oh yeah, I mean, the more evidence that we have, or the more pieces of evidence that we have, the more information we can get or ammo that we can use to ascertain testimonies. If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movement prior to his arrival at the restaurants are of no concern.
Objection!
Nice objection, Kazuma. Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. You have a right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense request. Thirsty states are forever asserting their rights. It's the most disturbing trend. Wow, it's a commentary in today's climate. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. Medical report card. A medical report card from Hot Clinic that was found in the victim's pocket. What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from the every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you'd like, but it's a day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten. These witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate the accused, correct, Tasan? Indeed, alone he was the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. So let's press here.
Yes!
So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? Okay, sorry, we pressed this earlier. Didn't get anything. Let's just fast forward this. Oh, sorry. Let's press that last. Excellent work, Granosuke. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancy to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report we got before. Actually, let's see it. Okay. There's nothing in there. Oh, you mean this? Yes. This is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. How exactly? Ooh, there's a new mechanic. You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. There are the ones you may examine. Press A, and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use the right joystick. We can rotate the piece of evidence. To rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using the left stick, we can move our cursor. You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. Okay, if the crosshairs start to pulsate, press A to investigate further. So, partner, I think we should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. So let's press court card. Is there there's no magnifying glass yet. Yes. Okay. Okay. My name, Mr. John Wilson, Hot Clinic. It says Hot Clinic on the medical report card. I hate clinics almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I've ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people would give their right arm to have had only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. So, looking for clues. I don't want to miss anything. Okay, medical report card. Let's rotate. Let's check the back. Dentist, Hota Clinic, date, blank blank. Record number 3728557. Let's examine. It looks like this medical report card was first issued some quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment. That's why, with a family doctor, I imagine. Well, I can't imagine going to a doctor. I mean, as long as I'm alive and never consulting one. Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point. So you don't like doctors then? Why would you? They make you drink horrible tasting medicine. They give you painful injections. And then they demand lots of money from you for the privilege. All when you're at your lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient, with a bad case of stubbornness no less, for which the only cure is a very bitter curiosity. Very bitter medicine indeed. Okay, let's check this page. We can open it. There's a lot of records. Let's have a look. There's some kind of medical history. Ah, and there's an entry for the day of the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps he used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of these anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. So this clearly contradicts the whole presumption that the victim ate at that place, because this medical appointment happened 12 noon, so 3 hours past that should be 3 p.m. So the victim should not eat or drink besides water until 3 p.m. Okay, so at least we found another contradiction. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. Medical report card's information has been updated in the court record. A record of dental work. On the day of the murder, the victim had undergone dental treatment and been prohibited from eating or drinking anything but water. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you think? Definitely. Okay, so we can present this at eating when the... Okay, dining. So we can present this medical report disputing the testimony. Let's present.
Yes!
Okay. Well, I think, about what are you wittering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could, but first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Inosuke. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raise your hand straight up like that, so purposefully. You knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright. And thanks for the advice. Yes, he's looking calm right now. It's not nervous Inosuke before. Correcto, son. This is a medical report card belonging to the victim. Ah, I see. And I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement. Oof. Something clearly doesn't add up.
Objection!
Dear me, dear me. Have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. But that's, remember, Rinosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There's surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all. For the simple reason that there is no one else beside the pale-faced pupil who could possibly... This medical report has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that? That outburst half petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hota Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic. Is that supposed to mean something to me? Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just a tooth extracted? What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating? Uh-oh, they knew. Just what are you trying to say, Cadet? He had orders not to eat? So what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure, while anesthesia wears off. What? No, that can't be. Correcta-san. What, boy? What? As you just heard, when he was killed, sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more? You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the side effects or the effects of the anesthetic. Expertly done, partner. Nice.
Objection!
You're turning this thing all around its head. Oh, what is this nonsense, you little upstart? These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic? How dare you? I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have turned. Ha ha ha. Funny. Wouldn't you agree, Ranosuke? Yes, most definitely. So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who in fact was eating the pictured beef steak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel? Counsel. Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of you turning this trial around. Show them what you've made of. Got it. So, The person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been... Well, the victim himself is not the one because he had just his tooth extracted. Not me because I was enjoying a cup of coffee at another table. It's not the two witnesses because they're dining together. So there's the last one should be the answer, an as yet unknown third part. Ooh, what a nice lamb! It's not a wimpy lamb anymore. Obviously, it can only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table.
Objection!
You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person.
Yes!
There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial relentlessly. Kazuma, are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issue with them. Those two witnesses in the stand. What? What are you talking about? You have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Perjury. And since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit in murder? No! Uh-oh. They are ought to say the truth now. Negative. There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders. That's right. As the man says, you just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they told us. Uh-oh. At the heat of the moment, Correcta just stated the secret. Oh. What? What did you just say? Correcta-san? Oh, no. You were just following orders. Now hold on, lad. I was, See, you never saw the gentlewoman. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
Objection!
What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair? Oh, wait. Ouchie is not aware of this? I thought he set up the whole thing. So there's another party at hand who told them to lie about the gentlewoman. Just one simple slip of the tongue. Order! Pawn's counsel, explain what is going on here. So there's a bigger picture here. It's painfully clear now. We tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. The news behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouths shut? Well, oh god, the baby's tugging the mustache. That's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Rinosuke. Judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Ouchie had any idea about it. Yeah, I guess I'm with Kazuma here. I think the prosecution is not aware of this. That's why they're very confident with presenting the medical report and ascertaining that the witnesses are decisive witnesses. So I guess there's someone else or something else that's keeping the both witnesses mouths shut. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we'll need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly remember how we made progress before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything that make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. They want answers. It's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you. The penalty will be severe. Please wait, Your Excellency. I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing. And what does the defense have to say about all of this? Your Excellency. No time to think. I'm just going to have to close my eyes and shout the first name that comes into my head. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses. Wait, let's... Oh god. I didn't examine. Sorry. Yikes. Let's... Satoru Osanaga? I think... Or Eugene Mikoto ba? Let's see the Satoru Osanaga first. Wait, can't we... oh god. Examine it.
Yes!
Just present Hosonaga. Well, surely that would be Satoru Hosonaga-san. Wait, let's... sorry about that. That's a pure guesswork. I think this evidence was previously said a business card. We can just examine it again. Oh, shoot. Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga. Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. It's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected, it's his job title. His job. Oh, Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga. Primary Criminal Investigation Division. Imperial Police Bureau. I think they need to fix that mechanic there because I was forced to choose a person even before I examined the court record. Well, I guess it's my fault as well. Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. If they're wielding it somewhere here... Okay, at least the waiter's business card is updated. It's not a waiter's business card, it's a police chief inspector. Okay, so I will end it here for now. A lot of things have come to light. Apparently, the witnesses were silenced by someone or something of the information about the gentlewoman. So the victim was not dining alone. In fact, the victim is not dining at all because he had his tooth extracted before the crime happened. So I guess we will see to next episode what Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga will say about this new evidence that we will present, and that he's not a waiter at all. And yeah, I guess that's it for now. Thank you everyone for watching this episode, and see you next time. Bye.